Welcome to the McAllister Report. We join John McAllister, top football evaluator, as he shares wisdom and interviews coaches and athletes from around the country. Enjoy today's podcast.
This is John McAllister with the John McAllister Report. And, I've do a lot of research on fact checking and research checking and legitimacy checking on a lot of the people that I read about. And I've come across a guy from Cleveland named Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons has promoted Ohio high school football over the years. And the latest I see, he has a Facebook entry where people from all over Ohio can supply information there. I mean, I see things from Cleveland, from Columbus, from Cincinnati, from way down along the river. A lot of just pictures and maybe some comments. And I have put up a video podcast before. And for some reason, it just seems something that I like about it. And so I contacted Mr. Simmons. I contacted him and asked him if he wanted to be on the video podcast. He said he'd be glad to. And so with that, I'm able to get him on this morning. We're, it's kind of pushing it a little bit. Our schedules conflict and, nothing happens besides church for me from 8:30 to 9:30. So we're able to put something together here and I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see it. So if you sit back and enjoy my video podcast with Gene Simmons of Ohio high school football out of Cleveland. Thank you. My guest today is Gene Simmons. We may have met over the course of the football over the years. I don't know for sure, but he is gradually, in my mind, becoming more and more of a football media guy in Cleveland area. And for me, as most of my friends know, I'm the original Doubting Thomas. I always check on guys and do research on guys that are in his position because so many not very good evaluators. Mr. Simmons, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, John. Appreciate you having me on. It's an honor to do this with you.
Well, I don't know about honor, but we finally, 1 hour and 15 minutes later, we're both connected. That's good, though. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I started seeing you on Facebook, I think originally.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, I think you're a barber by trade, right?
Yes.
Regular job, but
yes.
You've really gotten into this business with media.
Yes.
High school media.
Yes.
Where did that start? How did you start that?
Well, I think it started with me. I played a few sports during, my youth years and high school and stuff like that. Always had a passion for it. My son and my daughter, they played when they were younger. My son continued through high school, and he played at a pretty good level. And then it went into coaching. I coached AAU for about 8 years on every level: youth, middle school, high school boys. Then I did some girls stuff at the youth level. Developed still a continued passion for it. Developed the knowledge of it. And then it turned into, I wanted to stay close to it, even though I didn't have a kid that was still participating in sports, but were active. So I just wanted to stay close to it. And this was a way to stay close to it and just be the guy that does the media.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's so important for credibility. It's so important because to read, to see what people say, and to read what people evaluate, how they evaluate. But what are you doing now? Okay, in the football media business?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing now?
What am I doing as far as with
Yeah,
the
well,
media?
yeah. Let's start with the media.
Um, Covering games, cover as many games as I can at the high school level. May trickle down to some, lower level stuff, some media or basketball, or lower level stuff as far as age wise, but mostly high school stuff, high school basketball and high school football. Do the coverage, do videography, write a little bit. And just share that content, gather as much content as I can. I think it's important for some athletes that plan on trying to go to either the next level or just to get known about what they do. And then they putting in the work, just give them a platform where we can do that from.
It's so important. It's so important. Again, I've done this for a long, long, long time, and it wasn't a full time. It's never been a full time job.
Right.
A lot of time after football, after teaching and things like that.
Right.
But I'm totally retired now for almost 20 years, so I've
Right.
gotten into it. Now I am slowing down a little bit. What do you mean coverage? Covering a game? What does that mean?
Well, when you cover a game, in my opinion, it has
Your
to tell.
opinion, yeah.
Yeah. It has to tell a story, John. You cover a game from beginning to end. That's pregame, in-game, and then post-game. So it includes, post-game, maybe some pictures, post-game film, then in-game, this game sequence of how it played out. And then when the game ends, you want to obviously interview the winning coach, and you also want to interview maybe the best player that played in that game, or some key players that made key plays in that game. So that is the coverage, and then you recap it. You pretty much finish the story, and that's what coverage is to me.
Oh, that's good. And then I never have stayed for complete games. When I was younger, I would jump in the car and go to another game at halftime. I've been up at Shaker and University School and a game that night and stuff in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But, that's so important, and it's good to talk to the kids after the games, I think.
Absolutely.
What you do, it's good because you're getting experience, and plus the kid, the player is getting a little bit of coverage.
Yeah.
He also gets a chance to be in front of the camera.
Absolutely.
That's really huge to me.
Yeah.
Because they get used to it.
What?
And you never know where they're going to be. I mean, a lot of the guys you do are going to be playing on Saturday afternoons.
Absolutely.
Someplace.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think, social media obviously plays a big part in recruitment, just getting an eye on a kid. 10 years ago, you didn't have an opportunity. You'd have to pick up the local periodical to get the stats and see what a kid did if you wasn't covering the game or you wasn't there. But social media does make it very accessible to the kids, and the kids have to use their social media the right way. They have to set it up the right way, and they have to keep it clean. When they keep it clean, I think it draws a better interest. You have a blue chip player who's very good. He's going to gain attention anyway.
Right.
Before the kid who is borderline, he's a decent player, hard worker, blue collar guy. Those are the guys that you got to snuff out a little bit, and see what they do and see what their character is like. So yeah, but the social media aspect of it has really put more of a light on getting to a kid and seeing a kid, earlier than you would have to basically travel to see them, but you start seeing them now early and often.
And I think it's also equally important there is if you can develop a relationship with them.
Absolutely.
And so that, they may come back to you and say, you don't remember me, but you wrote about me. Could you help me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's so huge. Now, the trouble, everybody does social. I don't mean this in a negative way to you, but a lot of people do social media,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to find the good ones. Like
That's right.
I
Thank you.
wouldn't be talking to you right now for
Thank
all
you.
that means.
Thank you.
But anyway, I think it's huge. And I think high school coaches are gradually accepting it more and more.
I think so. I think coaches have tools. They have tools to get to kids, but it also helps to have an expanded coverage. So you said earlier it was Cleveland, mostly. I'm from the Stark County area, so you want to bring some outside eyes on certain areas that aren't getting that, and I think that's what the media does provide, added with the social media aspect of it, and getting that content out so you can get eyes on certain players. It's kids that I see week to week that I heard nothing about, but then all of a sudden they pop out because somebody put a reel up about them or put some kind of write up about them, and I don't have to go directly to that news source in that area to find them. It's there. You just gotta weave your way through it.
Well, the one thing that I don't necessarily have over other social media,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to tell you what I really think.
Absolutely.
Nobody talked about the Alliance quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Surbury. And
Surbury.
I came out and rated him for 2 years now, the best quarterback in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wrote about him really.
Nope.
Well, he really wanted to go to Northwestern, but he's going to Oklahoma.
Right.
Now, that's not too bad a football program.
No, not at all.
But I think the key, and I'm going to get back to one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think where social media makes mistakes
Mm-hmm.
sometimes is they don't get a connection with the head coach. And maybe that's hard. I don't know. But just to say, hi, coach, good luck. I know we're all born with egos in this business.
Absolutely.
But I think it's really important to have contact with the coach if you can.
Yeah, I think
It really helps.
Yeah, I think it helps. I think it helps out a lot because it bridges the gap to what we don't know.
Exactly.
So some kids, we see them only in one place, and that's in the uniform and on the football field. But they have lives outside of that, and you always want to indulge in their resources. Who's guiding them, what type of situations that they do have outside of football, because it does come into play. It comes into play when a coach or a scout wants to check on them. They're going to look at those things, and I think those things are very important to find out. And if we can help a kid, even in a tough situation, if you can help a kid and give him some kind of insight or putting with somebody who can give him some insight, it's good to know that information.
It's not quite the same with me, but over Gary Moeller, when he was the head coach at Michigan,
mm-hmm.
obviously years ago, we were sitting at a table talking, just Coach and I, Coach Moeller, and he says, John, tell me things I can't see on video.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've held to that. What can't, he says, I want to know about the kids.
Yep.
I work every sideline. Don't go to press box. I don't have that. But that's really good. I'm really glad that Gene Simmons is doing those things, because you're promoting kids the correct way. I don't want to use promoting in a bad connotation. You're helping kids get recognized and stuff. Okay, tell me about the Ohio High School Football Media Program. That's your program. What is that about?
Well, again, it's about exposure. It's about getting it.
Tell me, Gene, tell me about Facebook. What
Okay.
do you do on Facebook? Because I think that is really neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's basically it's a group page, but it's a very, very credible group page. I monitor it very well. Um, I have one other person who posts stuff. They help there and moderator uh, on the page with me, and we just kind of monitor stuff. But it is really a place. It's a platform where all media can bring their take and bring their content to the page also. And it's been very. I'll be careful about how I use the word successful because I always use results before I use success. So the results have been good because people are watching, people are posting, people are engaging, and that's a big part of the communication aspect of it to where um, they see more activity. They say, hey, you know what? Let's check this out. Let's see what's here. And I'm almost positive that kids have gotten contacted uh, through my platform to be able to uh, extend their playing career, maybe get with some other aspects of the game. And that's what that platform is for. It's to give kids an opportunity and coaches and whoever else is involved in the sport an opportunity to engage with people who are not either from the same area or another part of Ohio. I'm really strong on Ohio. I really don't let any other groups come in from other states at this point. I really want to put an emphasis on our kids.
That's okay. Let's go back. You said successful. Let's use the word successful from you're off to a successful start.
I think me being here with you shows some success that it's having, and engaging with other entities and programs and schools that I've covered. They've all really liked my work. I'm focused when I'm out there, and I'm focused on the main goal. And the main goal is to highlight that program as much as I can, and that's through video, that's through interviews, and we get some kids highlighted. Like I said, it's kids every week that I knew nothing about, especially this Friday. I did the Fitch Saying Nations game, and their starting running back was absent from the game, and they brung in a freshman. This freshman was out of sight. So again, people they're not going to know this kid because he's only a freshman. And now that he got to play, I had the opportunity to be there, and it just worked out. And I'm trying to give him as much ink as I can.
And then if you go to a camp next summer, you'll see him, and then you may say hi, but and then you can watch him grow.
Absolutely, because that goes back to when you said, John, about building a relationship. You want to build a relationship to where the main thing is trust. You want to be able to trust whoever they're dealing with to guide them in the right direction, and that's a big component I'm on is the trust factor. You could trust that this is about you. It has nothing to do with me. I put in the work, but that's a part of the process.
That's really good. Okay. The Facebook, how do I get on? I am, but I mean, how does one get on your Facebook page?
Yep. Obviously, you have to have the Facebook app. You get through there. It's Ohio High School Football. You should see it pop up. I have two pages.
Okay.
And one's
well, you hid one from me, huh? I don't. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's two pages, and they'll both pop up. You'll see the logo, and one has about 3,400 members, and the other one has about 3,700 members. And
Right.
yep, and that's how you access that. Then I'm also on Twitter at OHSFB Media, and I'm also on Instagram, and it's the same as the Facebook, Ohio High School Football, and you'll see all the logos on each account.
That's good. That's really good. I'm going to end this right now. This has really been good, informative for sure, and good to get to know you a little bit. And
Good to get to know you too, John.
like that. And of course, me, I'm an old school guy, but when I first started, that's how crazy it was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't write I knew about him, but I didn't expose like freshmen and sophomores.
Right.
Because coaches, John, it's early. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so finally, years ago, I asked one of the coaches at Ohio State, so what should I do? And he said, everybody else is doing it. So I did it, but I'm doing it now. But it's so important, Gene, for people to be honest.
Absolutely.
And I know they want to be colorful. Excuse me. I know they want to be colorful and they want to be like their sports writers and all this stuff, but just be honest. And
Absolutely.
Gene, thank you very much for this interview. I appreciate it.
John, the pleasure was all mine. Like I said, it's a pleasure that you were interested in interviewing me and bringing me on your podcast. And, I'm truly grateful for that.
Well, Coach, Gene, when I talk to you on the phone,
mm-hmm.
I do a very good job of listening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really happy to have you on here. Again, thank you very much for being on my show.
You're welcome, John.